Hey guys, Keith here, Vintage Dad. I'm feeling a little ashamed right now. I'm not perfect, and maybe some of you already knew that. I don't know, and maybe you're just now finding it out. Who knows? But I, so I was at church the other day, and preacher was talking about envy. Okay, and that was the topic for the day. And I thought, hey, I don't consider myself envious or really jealous of anything. I mean, I see people with a nice car, and I don't really want their car, or I'm like, oh, that's a nice car, but I don't really, feel envious, or somebody's house or whatever. I like my car, I like my house. But he kind of dived on in a little bit, like pastors do, and a little deeper, and got to talking about how we, maybe somebody at work gets a promotion, but you didn't get one. you know um, Somebody got recognized but you didn't. And then I was like, well, okay, yeah, okay, I can see that a little bit. Yeah, okay, I've kind of maybe struggled at times with that when I've had seen that happen, and wondered why not me. And comparing yourself to other people, and how what they have, and like I say, maybe not necessarily a car or a house, but we talk a lot about being single on this channel, being a widower myself, and a lot of you are widows or divorced, and see somebody who's happily married or just happily dating. They're a couple, they're out doing something, and you're sitting over here, eating by yourself, and they're out, they're holding hands, or they're just laughing and joking, and you're kind of sitting there by yourself, and you want to go slap them, you know what I mean? But not really. No, you're happy for them, but yet you're kind of thinking, man, why not me? Why can't I find that? And so there could be some envy and jealousy. You hate to call it that, but it's kind of really, I guess, what it is. I hated to admit that, but I realized, oh my gosh, I do, have that. It's maybe not something I deal with every day, all day long, but it is something that, it's there in my life. And there are times when I do compare myself to other people and wonder why, they have that and I don't. And not that I don't want them to have it. I say I don't wish anything bad on them. I don't want to take anything from them. I don't want somebody else's wife or somebody else's girlfriend. But maybe just being jealous of or envious of the situation that they're in, the relationship that they have, the friendship that they have. Even just having a good friend is important. And I don't feel like I have that a lot. As far as having somebody to hang around with. I have a lot of good friends. I said I don't really have any friends. I have friends, but I don't really have a lot of friends that I can just call up and let's hang out, let's do something. Because most of them are married or whatever and got things, and they're busy. They can't just leave their wives and hang out with vintage dad, right? Probably not going to do that, and they don't do that. And that's okay. That's okay. But one day I'll find somebody to hang out with. And the other thing, and this was probably one that got me a little bit more than in anything really, is just like I say, comparing yourself to others, not really thinking of that as envy, but it really is. It's when you're, and you can compare yourself to others in different ways. You can compare yourself and get prideful and say, oh, I'm better off than they are. That's not good. You can compare yourself to others and say, well, I'm not near as good as they are, and feel insecure and feel down about yourself. And so it's never good to compare yourself to anybody, really. It's just not. It's okay to look at somebody that maybe you want to be like, and set some goals and say, well, I want to be where they're at someday. That's okay. But just don't, sit around and compare yourself to, compare your looks or, your financial situation, your relationships, your house, your car, whatever, your job, comparing it to other people. You're always going to be on one end or the other. You're either going to find yourself, like I say, getting swelled up with pride, thinking you're a little bit better than somebody else, or you're going to feel like you're not good enough. And neither one is where we need to be. So don't compare yourself to others. But the one thing that hit me hard was the YouTube thing, because I love YouTube. I've been doing YouTube I've been on YouTube about 13 years, but really just trying to, as far as putting out a lot of videos, I've, done more last few years. I have one channel called, I started to say Dad's Place. It's Keith's Place, actually. And then, of course, this channel here, which this channel's 13 years old, but I've kind of revamped it and was doing music at one time. And now, kind of reaching out to, this community here of widows, widowers, people that are single and, kind of up in years a little bit. I'm 60, so, but some people are 50, 40, and they find themselves, single and either divorced or, like I say, if a spouse has passed and maybe you're 60, maybe you're 70, maybe you're 80, maybe you're 90, whatever, watching this channel. And I appreciate everybody watching as always and everything. But I watch some of the other YouTubers, and some of the other YouTubers have inspired me to start channels. Silver and Solo was one, Jen, I think's her name. And she's been very successful and has a very successful channel. So I look at her, and again, don't wish anything bad upon her. I'm so happy for her. I think it's great. She's awesome and everything. But at the same time, I look at, I want to be. I don't want to be her. I just want to be kind of where she's. I'd like to see 100,000 subscribers. That's what she hit here recently, and and there's some other ones. I think, let's see, what's the other one? Solo Second Half, I think, is one of the ladies that has a channel out. And I think I'm saying that. I think it's her name of her channel, Solo Second Half. And so they're both, around. I think Jen's like right at my age. I'm not sure how old the other lady, and I can't remember her name right offhand. I just started watching her recently, but and she's got several thousand subscribers. And again, it's great. I'm happy for them. But I found myself, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's that's where you wind up being envious if you're not careful, or jealous, by looking at somebody else and wishing you were where they're at, and yes, I want to be where they're at, but I don't have to be envious of them to set that as a goal. And so I even though I felt like that sermon wasn't really for me, I didn't need that. I kind of needed it, and it really, it's those times when, and I didn't leave, feeling down on myself or guilty or anything. But it was good for me. It was inspirational, eye-opening, and it made me look at things differently instead of looking at somebody and go, oh, man, they're growing, And again, I want them to grow, but if you're not careful, you can kind of have a little bit of a negative outlook towards other people when you see them succeeding, or whether it's in YouTube, if that's your thing, whether it's at your job, in business, maybe you have a business and you see somebody else being a little more successful, having a few more customers, seem to have it all together. You see somebody that's married, again, like we said, and or dating, and you're having trouble finding somebody to even go out with, let alone find somebody that you really enjoy being with. So I encourage you today to, if you've been where I'm at, or where I've been, I'm trying to not be there anymore. So I hate to say that's where I'm at. Hopefully that's in the past. I'm trying to to be better and not. And so the things that I had my eyes open to now, that I've realized, hey, I have been a little bit jealous, a little bit envious of some people in different areas, that I don't want to be that way. I have some goals set for myself of where I want my channel to be, where I want my relationship to be, and to, what I want in the future, as far as whether I want to date or whether I'm just looking for a good friend to hang out and watch movies and watch a game or go out to eat with or whatever. But I don't want to get caught up in that trap of being envious and jealous of somebody. It's not good. So I challenge you today that if you're, think about maybe your life and where you're at, and do you look at other people that way? Or is there maybe some hidden envy, like it was for me? I didn't realize I had it. That's in your life, and write those things down. What's some things that I didn't realize I was envious of or jealous of, or people, things, whatever. And write those things down, and instead of being envious of those. Just say, I want to be. This is where I want to be, but I'm not going to compare myself to them. I want to get there on my own. I heard somebody say one time, "Man, I wish Dad had his money," and I'm like, I don't know if I said it out loud. I probably would say it out loud now, but I didn't at the time. It kind of, one of the things that people say, and you're like, okay. But I don't want somebody else's money. I want my money. I mean, I'd like to maybe have as much money as somebody has, but I don't want their money, and I don't want to be jealous of somebody else's, blessings and their rewards. I want my own rewards, my own blessings. So anyway, I challenge you to, if you got some things in your life that maybe is holding you back a little bit, because envy, jealousy, anything in your life that's a negative thing can hold you back from your blessings. So if you're instead of looking at other people and say, I wished I was where they were, just be thankful for, glad for those people, bless those people, give them a thumbs up, whatever in your mind, and just say, this is what I want. Write down what you want, not what somebody else has, but what you want, and don't worry about what they've got or how they're being blessed or promoted or rewarded. You just look for your own rewards, and you'll appreciate them, you'll enjoy them, and I believe you'll have a better life for it. So anyway, if this is helpful to you, hey, if you could give us a thumbs up on this, subscribe to us, tell your friends about us, and appreciate y'all tuning in to Vintage Dad as always. And it's always a pleasure to come into your home. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks.